So I think I was about 16 or 17 years old in a relationship, my first real long-term relationship. And oh man, this girl was beautiful. I I really enjoyed everything about her. She was quirky and like weird in like a beautiful, fun way. We connected on a really deep level, and I just really appreciated being with her. The part I really struggled with, though, was feeling as if she wanted to be with other guys, other people. Especially one specific guy who was her ex, who would constantly message her and try and like reconnect or just stay in contact or something. And whenever that message would come through, I would just feel sick to my stomach, fearful that she wanted to be with him. And then immediately that was replaced with anger, with frustration, with a sense of she was going to reach out to this guy or try and reconnect with him and therefore cheat on me, hurt me, betray me. And I'll be honest, it wasn't just with this guy. It would happen whenever she would go to parties. I remember there was this one time she went to this party. I called her and basically asked her, like, how's the party going? Are you having fun? Hoping she would say no. Hoping she would say, no, I miss you and I want to be with you. I wish I never came to this party, blah, blah, blah. But she didn't. She said, yeah, I'm actually having a lot of fun. This is really cool. And she wasn't a super social person. So I wanted to be happy for her. But again, that sick to my stomach feeling replaced by this anger, replaced by this image of she's there flirting with guys, betraying me in some way. And that feeling would consume me. And I would react. I would get angry and frustrated and closed and cold, so cold. And I said to her in that moment, great to hear it. I mean, this was over the phone, but I could feel how cold I was in that response. And I could hear in her response that she felt it too. She was like, yeah, thanks. I'll talk to you later. And I hung up the phone without even saying goodbye. And then I just fell into this fear spiral of she's gonna cheat on me, especially now that I've like acted in this way. And that night was the first night I ever had like a real panic attack. So it wasn't only with this one specific guy, right? But this specific guy was like the ultimate trigger for me. And a big part of me really didn't like the way I acted in those moments. There was a sense of like guilt or shame about how I was acting. But I would almost always quickly replace it with, no, this is justified. This isn't you, this is her. She's doing this. She is like going out to these parties and trying to have fun and like probably flirting with these guys. And she is like letting her ex contact her and not blocking him even when I asked her to block him. And then this thought would come back and it was like, yeah, but she's not responding. And then it would immediately be fought back with like, yeah, but she didn't block him. So clearly she like still likes him or cares about him. And it would just like spiral into this, I don't like how I'm acting, but she's causing it. It's her fault. And there was one day I had bought a box of 12 condoms, like one of the big boxes, which I was like super proud of at the time, right? I was like, yo, I'm being sexually active with this person, and like, look at me with this like big box of 12 condoms, and we like having loads of sex and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I left this box of condoms at her house because we would go to her more frequently, more regularly. I lived with my dad at the time, and he was home a lot of the time, and it would have been awkward. And I don't know, I felt uncomfortable being around him with a girlfriend anyway. So we are like making our way through this box of condoms, and for some reason, I don't think I was doing this intentionally, but I was kind of like keeping note of how many condoms there were. I don't know why I was keeping track, maybe it was subconscious, but I know on the day that this whole thing happened, there should have been at least 3 or 4 condoms left. We are getting into the mood, things are about to happen, so I reach over and put my hand in the box of condoms to grab one, and there's nothing there. And I look and I sort of like go over to it, and I look into the box, and there's no condoms left. And in that moment, I felt this drop into my stomach, this sick feeling, and then almost immediately blood just rush up to my face, and I could only see red. And I was just like, you fucking used the condoms, didn't you? And she was like, what? What are you talking about? I was like, there's no condoms left. You used them with somebody else, didn't you? And again, she's like, Aaron, what are you talking about? I was like, look, there's no condoms left. The condoms are here at your house. I clearly didn't use them, so you've used them. There should have been at least 3 left. You're cheating on me, aren't you? And she goes quiet for a second. And she's like, Aaron, I'm not cheating on you. Why don't you believe me? I didn't use these condoms. And she said something that'll always kind of like stay with me, which was, why do you always do this? Why do you always accuse me or blame me for things I'm not doing? And that just like, on one hand, it kind of like hit me, and it really stabbed me for a second. And I felt that guilt, but again, I was like, no, bullshit. This is the evidence I have and need. This proves everything right. You're probably cheating on me with your ex that keeps trying to message you. There should have been 3 or 4 condoms. There are none left. There's no other explanation. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I was right the whole time. I can't trust you. And I ended the relationship. And I was so hurt, so frustrated, so angry at her, but also myself. I was like, how could I have been that dumb? Why did I stay with that the whole time? I was right the whole time. Why did that voice inside of me that was telling me maybe it's me, that was wrong. And this voice was telling me that I should be careful and I should be worried, and she's going to cheat on me and blah, 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 blah. And she's doing it with this specific guy. Like, that was right the whole time. And I felt so stupid and so upset and so fucking hurt. Like, my fear that I would be betrayed the whole time was right, and it was true, and it was real. And I should have listened to that fucking sickness inside of me, that fear that kept staying and bubbling, and I should have listened to it. And then about 2 weeks later, I'm packing my bag to go to a friend's house, and I am pulling out the old clothes that were in this bag so I could repack it with new ones. And I pull out this like top, and with this top, I noticed in the corner of my eye these shiny things falling out with it. And I look, and it's 3 condoms. Same brand as the box of 12. And I stop and I just stare at these condoms. And all of a sudden this memory comes back to me of me in her room while she's at the bathroom, taking 3 condoms out of the condom box, putting them into my bag, because we had finally decided that we were going to spend a weekend at mine, and I wanted to make sure that we had protection. And as I realized that, I just got this like slap in the face type of feeling of like that whole time, all of that fear, all of that jealousy, all of the ways I was reacting because of that fear and jealousy were completely me. They were inside of me. And she was actually doing nothing wrong. Because as I had this realization, as that memory came back to me, along with that came all of these memories of the look on her face when I would accuse her, when I would blame her, when I would act in these really fucking just gross ways. Because I was jealous, because I was insecure, because I was fearful that she would hurt me. And how every time she was like, I would never do that to you. I would never hurt you. I would never do that to anybody. And it just, it really made me realize how much I was being controlled by that fear, by that jealousy, by that part of me that was just so fucking scared of being hurt or abandoned. And then I realized how much it manipulated and controlled me to the point where I fucking ended the relationship for no reason. No reason. I was the one who made those condoms disappear. And I saw that, and it activated my fucking fear and fear of betrayal and jealousy, and I painted her as this like demon, this villain, this I saw her as something she just was not. And that was me. That was all me. And I fucking ended the relationship. I caused and created the very thing I was scared of. Being left, not being with somebody. And then I was pissed off for a different reason. Because I sat in that for a second and I was like, fuck that insecurity. Fuck that fear controlling me, causing me, manipulating me to fuck up my own situation, to ruin my own relationship. And it was in that moment where I was like, I will never let that happen again. I am going to do whatever it takes to understand what the fuck is going on inside of me, and I'm going to make sure I overcome that shit. Because I really realized in that moment how much I was hurting her because of my fear, because of my insecurity. And not only that, but like I was fucking it up for myself. All the stress and worry I would have waiting to be hurt. All the ways I would act towards her. And the actions I would take and then feel bad about. I was being controlled. I was being manipulated by this fear inside of me. And I was fucking done with it. I was done with it. So I did. I became obsessed with psychology, with understanding my internal world. I literally became an attachment style coach, which is helping people overcome their insecurities in relationships, because I overcame mine. And that was the moment where it all started. Then I sort of got to the point where like that fear in relationships no longer controlled me. And I needed that moment. I needed that moment to slap me in the face, to show me what I was doing. So I could finally take responsibility for my shit. And I want to say to you, if you're resonating, it's not your fault. And I realized too, it wasn't my fault. It was, however, my responsibility. My responsibility to figure out what that was about and to work on it so I could show up more healthily for myself and for my partners. And this is not, again, this is not a judgment. That was me in that story, right? So I know what it is inside of you. I know what's going on. I know it's not your fault, but you need to take responsibility. You need to fucking own it. Because that is when you can finally start to work on it and change it. Become more your true, healthy, confident self. So I'm not judging you, but if this story and me can be that slap in the face for you, that loving, like, dude, wake the fuck up. Girl, wake the fuck up. I'd like to invite you to take this as that. And as you take that responsibility, as you own what it is you need to work on, you are going to grow into someone and something you've always meant to be, your truest self. Now, I don't want to just leave it there, because I know one of the first things you'll probably think is, well, how the fuck do I do that? Like, okay, Aaron, I get it. I'm insecure. How do I work on that? So, as I said, I was an attachment style coach. I've worked with hundreds of people. I had close to 1 million followers on all platforms. You can go check that out in another story. I made a course. And in the beginning, I was trying to sell it, but you know, this is what I'm really passionate about now. So the course is everything you will need if you're genuinely ready to work on this. And it's completely free. I'll put it in the link in my description. Yeah, I want that to be my gift to the world and to you and to those who are genuinely ready to face their inner world, to face their fears, to become the healthy, confident version of themselves that they know is there. But yeah, that was an intense one. And again, I don't judge you, I get it, but it's time to wake up. That's not you. It's not the real you when you react in those ways. If you feel pulled to share anything that you feel pulled to share, please do so in the comments. I would love to hear it. And if and only if you feel pulled to subscribe, please trust in that. That means there's more that you need to hear or get or experience with me. So I would love to have you on the journey if you have that pull. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.